Meeting called to order. Town of Fort White, Florida Planning and Zoning meeting agenda. Would you please stand for the pledge?
Flag in the back now.
The kids need to come up.
Oh, yeah, who's that?
Sorry.
The kids need to come up and lead the pledge.
Let them come up there. You can see it. Look over all their heads, it's back there in the corner.
See the eagle up there?
Y'all ready? Y'all start when you want to.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Great job, great job.
Thank you.
Can we get a quick picture?
Yeah,
Can we get a quick picture of all y'all and I'm sorry. Oh, they're so awesome.
Great job.
At this time, we have to call the roll.
At this time,
Do we
we're
need to
going
swear them in?
At this time, we're going to present Ms. Fleming.
Miss Mary.
As everybody knows, we have an election in town, and Ms. Fleming has been a long-standing member of the town council, and she has decided to retire. So we want to present this to her, recognizing her 11-plus years of service here in the town of Fort White.
Thank you, Miss Mary.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay, now, we do need to swear our new mayor and our new council person in before we start doing any more official business. Thank you for running up the meeting. All right. First and first. Your piece of paper is on top, so let's swear you in. Ron, you have any family members?
Yeah.
Great.
You have family members?
There's my brother right there.
Anyone you want to bring up? Come on.
Oh, bro, you too. Yeah. Actually, no, you got Adiela, huh?
No, something should be like this.
Okay, no.
You can come up if you want.
If I can get the family, if I
Okay.
can get
Can I show you?
the step back, hold this.
Oh, yeah.
No, not George, family.
Oh.
You always got to get close together.
Benjamin, you got it. Yeah. But how many you want to come or nobody? Sure. All right.
Okay. All right. So if you'll raise your right hand, I will swear you in. Let everybody get situated. All right. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government of the United States
the Constitution and government of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified to hold office
that I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully perform the duties
and that I will well and faithfully perform the duties
of town mayor,
of town mayor,
on which I am now about to enter,
on which I am now about to enter,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. Okay. Next case. Now, you want to bring up any family there? Okay, same thing, if you'll please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified to hold office
that I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and that I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of town councilwoman,
the duties of town councilwoman,
on which I am now about to enter,
on which I am now about to enter,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. Okay.
Gotta go to work.
Now, proceed.
Mr. Coon or no?
Oh, you getting sworn in too?
Yeah.
She said I had to be.
Okay.
I really tried to bypass it. What about swearing?
You can affirm if you want.
Now, you can affirm.
Nah, I won't swear.
Okay, anyone you want to bring
I
up?
just swear. Yeah. Right here. No, look, no. I ain't got no family here, nobody here.
Repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Florida,
and of the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified to hold office
and I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state.
and that I will well and faithfully perform
I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of town councilman,
the duties of town councilman,
on which I am now about to enter,
in which I am now about to enter,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. Now,
Now we can roll call.
and I'll send you another one of these on my phone in a minute to print off and have it.
Okay.
I didn't realize yeah, I guess you didn't have it.
Okay.
We didn't have any opposition.
Okay, before the roll call, if everyone would, please, I would like to open up with a prayer for this first meeting, so everybody
Yeah.
please rise. Keep it very brief. Lord, we give you thanks for this opportunity, Lord, to be gathered here as a community, ultimately seek what is best for the town, Lord, and for the residents. Pray that you give us wisdom, Lord, that you give us guidance and understanding. Be with us here, Lord, bless and protect everyone here, also on their return to wherever they may live. Once again, Lord, we just give you thanks. We praise your name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, Ms. King, if you would please, the roll call.
Mayor Thomas,
Here.
Board Member Florence,
Here.
Board Member Catherine Cherry. Here. Board Member Bill Coon.
Here.
Board Member Monica Merricks. Here. Town Clerk here, and Town Attorney.
Here. Very well. Okay, before we start off this meeting, I had a couple of things prepared that I would like to say. And I'll try to keep it brief, and then I'll give Councilwoman Merricks, anybody, if they have anything they would like to say, I'll give them opportunity. So first of all, I want to thank everybody who voted and participated in here in this election. That is the American political process. You voted for who you wanted to, and that resulted from the local to the national level. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Councilwoman, or former Councilwoman Mary Fleming, for being here and for her service and for starting off the meeting as the Vice Mayor. And I also want to thank the former Mayor Ronnie Frazier. He was here. He was in this seat for 6 years. He was doing it. And I said this to anybody who would listen. I believe he has always wanted what is best for Fort White. I believe he does want what is best for Fort White. I have nothing negative at all to say about him. So I want to just thank him as well. I do want to make a quick note. Look, at the end of the day, we have First Amendment protections. Everyone can say what they want on social media. The only reason I even bring it up is because there was almost a situation that happened involving me, and I won't get into details. Thank God nothing happened. It ended up being all good. But I will say, just keep in mind when you make a post on social media, most of us understand it's just words, but there are people out there who it may be more than just words to them. Again, it wasn't me, but I would hate to see anything unfortunate happen to me or to anyone here in Fort White. So just keep that in mind, anyone who's watching this or in social media. I would encourage you just to maybe try to temper your language or how you go about it. And also kudos to everyone here. I think everybody here was very professional throughout the entire election process. The last thing I wanted to say, and this is first and hopefully the last time I'll be addressing it, but I will bring it up because it's something that I heard a lot. Look, I moved here 3 years ago. There's a lot of rumors and hearsay about me, and specifically about me in the county. I don't know where those rumors came from. I have no idea, why they started, but here's what I can say. I can say that when I was knocking on doors and when I was speaking to people, I ran and I said that I would communicate with anyone and everyone, especially if I thought it was in the best interest of the town. And from this point forward, that's how I'll do. I'll be very open and very transparent. If I have a meeting with anyone with the county, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say, hey, here's what happened. Here's what they said. Here's where we stand. So I just address it because, I've heard it a lot. And specifically because we had, Rocky gave me a call and he was trying to give me an update. But I turned it down. I said, hey, Rocky, let me address the people of Fort White. I didn't want to feed into that image, even though it wasn't true. Now, I rejected an olive branch that he extended to me as the brand new mayor. I told him, I gave my reasoning, but I did it just the once, and I did it so that I could address my constituents first and foremost, and because I know there was that rumor floating around. But I say that to say, hey, from here on out, look, I'll meet with anyone who I think could benefit the town of Fort White. And yeah, I just wanted to address that just once, and hopefully that'll probably be the last time. And I think that's everything I had that I wanted. Anybody, anything? Oh, no? Good.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so as far as this meeting agenda, are we going to do an addition?
Well, let's see. Yes.
Okay, so just, somebody wants to make a motion for what the addition, the deletion of the change is going to be, and then we can...
Now, remember, this is planning and zoning, this isn't
Yeah,
town
this is,
council.
we gotta get to the next meeting
So are
first.
there
Oh,
any
with the town
additions?
council. Okay, very well, very well. Got it. Okay,
Are
so
there
then,
any for this meeting?
Not that I know of. No, I don't.
Okay, so
Mine's
if
for the next meeting.
gotcha, I thought it was, okay. So if there's no additions, changes, or deletions for this meeting, I need a motion to approve the agenda as is.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, need a second?
A second.
Third?
We don't need a third.
We don't need a
Call for
third,
the
just a
vote.
second.
Third, okay,
And then
motion
I'll-
passed.
And
Got it.
then
Okay, so that motion passed. All right, so approval of the previous planning and zoning minutes. I submitted a minor change. I think it gives a tiny bit more context. I think everybody has it, I believe she pointed it out. We'll call that version 2 of the minutes, if you will. And we'll call version 1 what currently is as written. The only change I made is in the public comments portion. I made a minor change, and I think everybody has that email was highlighted there. Yeah, right there. Oh, this is mine. Oh, you're here. Okay, here. Oh, maybe indeed was yours. No. Okay. So, a motion either to approve the agenda minutes for the previous planning and zoning meeting as is, or version 2 as I submitted.
Did you read the changes, please? No,
I can read changes.
Yes, you're amending the minutes, right?
Yes, I can read changes. Okay, so currently as it is in the packet, for the public participation, which is the only thing that was changed, it said Christian Haas voiced his support for the re-election of Mayor Frazier. And then the change, okay, so that's that version. Then the version that I submitted, it says Christian Haas voiced his support for the re-election of Mayor Frazier, stated his disapproval of mayoral candidate George Jacob Thomas as unwilling to state his political opinion, and as potentially being someone that would get walked on, chewed up by the Lake City commissioners.
You good with that?
No. I get the iron address to the council.
You sure?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'll
There you go. Just.
Sure, trying to fix this.
Yeah, no problem. This minute thing, this came up in Columbia County around 2010. Clerk made the minutes, they were pretty comprehensive minutes. And then the county manager, Dale Williams at the time, apparently made up some stuff and they changed the minutes. The only thing that you have to do, that the county council has to do in minutes, is motions and votes. Everything else is discretionary. There's nothing in the law that says actually the minutes have to be approved, but the minutes, if you amend them, have to be approved. A lot of towns do summary minutes, and I guess it's up to the board to decide whether the city clerk made a summary of those comments without keeping personalities in them, or did not. I guess part of the changes, which I guess is coming up, that the mayor wants to make, the comments that his wife made. So I guess you have to decide what it is that you want in the minutes. And clearly that is the prerogative of the board. But I think if you want more than just summary minutes, and there's nothing wrong with what the clerk wrote, everything she wrote was true, and don't want extensive comments, which is opening up a door to a lot of changes at every meeting, then that's up to the board to decide. So,
How do you know?
Sorry about that.
yes, so that's up to the town council, and I think maybe you need to let us know what you want in the minutes before you start changing minutes, but it's up to you guys.
Thank you, Stu. Yeah, and what Connie had in there, yeah, was just a summary. I added what I thought was a little more context, and because of the subject matter that I addressed, I threw it on there. But it's whatever the council wants the motion. I'm not married to it this way or that way.
So you trying to change the minutes? Or
Yeah,
what are you doing?
to this. To that. From, I think it's on there, I think it might be on the second. From that to that. But, yeah, I mean, look, hey, Stu brings up a good point. You guys just want to keep it simple? Motion for version 1. I don't, you know. I'm not married to it, I just thought I might add a little bit more context.
I've seen the minutes, we've seen the minutes, we know what you tried to do, but I'm gonna make a motion, we agree to,
Version 1.
version 1.
Second.
Then-
I'll second.
And then we gotta have a vote.
Oh, you said 3?
No, you don't
3
need to
yeas.
do
Okay,
it.
You
okay.
need to, and then you call for a vote.
Yeah, you're
First,
saying.
second, and a vote.
A motion and a second, and then we have a vote.
Who made the first?
The
Who made
third
the first?
Gotcha.
Who made the first?
Bill.
Me. I made the
I think
motion.
it was,
And the second?
Jason.
Thank you.
And the third works, because that would be majority, but
that's how, yeah, I just.
But that way you
third
get
passed.
the unanimous, and I can put that it was unanimous, if it wasn't.
it might not
Right.
be.
I think, right, I'll just do it one by one. I can do it one by one, right? I want to do it, because I want
The
to.
way we was
Because
doing
when
it.
it was doing it unanimous, I wouldn't hear everybody, so. All right, okay, approval of minutes, past public participation, I don't, Connie, do we have any cards for that? Anybody
No one's turned in anything.
got anything? No, very well. Okay, so under new business, let me,
You wanna close that? What is it? Close public participation.
oh, yeah, so we close that, there's no one participating, we'll close public participation. So under new business, let me first give an update here as to where we are with, so under new business is consideration of the special use permit submitted by the gentleman from the collective. So I'll give an update on where we are with that. So there is a meeting that is currently being
It was on the-
scheduled. Oh. Maybe, do I have yours? I think I do. I think maybe, yeah. See? I
Yeah,
did.
okay.
Okay. So where we currently are with that is, there is a meeting that is scheduled, well, Connie, is it scheduled yet or no?
Scheduled for the 22nd, we don't have the time yet.
Yes, okay, so there's a meeting that is tentatively scheduled, we're looking for the time that works for the gentleman from the collective, their attorney, the town and our attorney, and what we're going to do is get with the collective and get basically their input on what exactly it is that they want the council to consider, so that they can settle their lawsuit against, that they have against the town. So that has been in the works. I think it's just finally getting scheduled now for, I believe, Friday, 22nd is? Think so, yeah?
Is settle the correct word? or
Who's,
roll?
No, not settled, it's
No, so,
negotiate.
yeah, so, go ahead.
no, I was saying, you were saying settled, and I was saying, we settled it.
Yes, it's to
No.
negotiate and agree and come up with things to present to the town
Yeah.
council to consider under the planning and zoning
I got
board
you.
and vote on.
Correct, so the first part is that meeting, so we'll have that meeting, and
Sorry.
the elected will say, hey, we
I'm
want,
sorry, the meeting that's gonna be is for a settlement agreement.
yeah,
But the planning and zoning has to approve it.
Yes, but the meeting
Correct.
that he's talking about is for a settlement agreement to present to the town.
Correct.
correct, so they'll say, hey, we want ABC, we want this variance, that variance. We'll get together our own words to make sure it's in compliance with the land development code, we'll iron it out, then we'll present it to the council, and the council will make a determination on that. So, hold on, questions? Questions on that?
I was just trying to see if she was up on what's going on, what this is all about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you do.
I was just asking her
Okay.
while you was talking, go
Is
ahead.
that how you,
She said she
is
was
that
good.
correct?
I was just waiting patiently.
Now it's your turn.
I don't like to interrupt. Yes. So every lawsuit that's ever filed, I think I heard Stu talking back there. Not cheating. Every lawsuit that's ever filed has settlement negotiations. Every lawsuit that's ever filed has mediation. Informal settlement negotiations are cheaper than a formal mediation. We're represented in this case by Mr. Siegel, who has been retained by the Florida League of Cities to represent our interests in this case. It's my understanding that the meeting, people that will be attending the meeting will be myself, the mayor, Ms. Connie, Mr. Siegel, the attorney, and then the plaintiffs, it's my understanding that, and I've got an email that I was copied on an email from their attorney who said that she would be fine with us meeting with the plaintiffs without her being present, and then they were going to convey that to her, play a scheduling conflict or something. Doesn't matter. That's their prerogative. So we don't have a time yet. We've all agreed we're available on Friday. We just have to nail down the time. So when we do that, we'll talk about it. We'll hopefully come to a consensus, okay, which is, hey, this is something we can all live with. And after that, we'll obviously bring it back to the council, report it. You guys can say, no, we don't agree with that. We're not going to agree with that. Or you can say we agree with that, or we agree with some of that, or whatever. But anything that's discussed there has to come back to the council for approval. So that's what's the point.
So I'm understanding that agreement and settlement are two different
Again,
negotiations.
we could use 100 different words to describe the fact that we're going to have a meeting, hopefully, on Friday, and hopefully what's going to come out of that is that these people, meaning all of us, who have absolutely no ability to make a formal agreement, are going to leave that meeting and then come back to you, the council, who does have the ability on your side to make an agreement. Now the plaintiffs, they're there, so if they agree to it, then at least, I think that side of it is good. And if we are all in agreement, if you guys are in agreement with it, and you come back and present it to us, then we have an agreement. So however, whatever words you want to put on
Well,
that.
I was just hung up on.
We can find out what they want
Sure.
next week.
Who's it?
So we agree to it or not.
It's myself, it's the mayor, it's Ms. Connie, it's Scott Siegel, who is the attorney for us, representing the Florida League of Cities, and it's the gentleman who owned the court, who are the plaintiffs, but their attorney's not attending because she can't, or whatever, doesn't matter. She's communicated to us that it's okay with me.
Got it, okay, so, in light of that, I think we should continue this until next month. So a motion for a continuance so that we can address this.
We need a motion to continue.
Yes. motion to
We
continue.
continue.
Well, what's on the planning and zoning tonight is their special use plan request, all that. But these are the things that we have to discuss
Oh,
on
yeah,
Friday.
yeah.
But it had to be put on the
I got it. It had to be on the-
procedural. Yes.
I make a motion, we continue this to the next month meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
Yeah. So now I have a question. When I was reading the rules of order, all in favor as opposed to individually, what's the difference?
Well, you can take an individual vote and count the nays and the yays.
Right.
Or in this small of a setting, you can say all in favor and everybody says yay and you.
Just for ease of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick and move
All in favor, say
on.
aye. Aye, okay. All opposed, nay? No nays. Okay, it passes. So, do we have any citizen comment? And I think citizen comments, anyone could just.
Citizens should be at the end.
Right.
It is.
Oh, at the end. Do y'all, any
Anybody?
citizen comments about this?
Good. All right, close citizen comments.
I just thought he had a question.
Yeah, no, very well. All right, motion to adjourn the planning and zoning meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn the planning and zoning meeting.
All right, second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who was the
Opposed?
second? Were you the second?
All opposed, nay? All right. Planning and zoning meeting has been adjourned. All right, I call to order the Town Fort White Town Council meeting. Do we do a roll call for this one as well, or is that just not necessary?
Is that?
Matter?
We haven't been doing it.
Yeah, we haven't, and roll call is, it's actually the first time I ever heard of doing roll call when I came to Fort White. But it's fine, whatever you guys want to do, if you're gonna do a roll call, do it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to, you're not required.
Okay, very well.
We haven't been doing it.
Yeah, okay.
We've just been going straight into the meeting.
Okay, now, you do that. Okay. All right, item 1, additions, deletions, and changes. I made the email change, I made the request to change the meeting minutes here on this one too, for the public comments portion. Again, if you guys just want to keep it, the council just wants to keep the summary level, we can call that one version 1. If you care to read version 2, feel free to read version 2.
Okay, you need to address that under the minutes heading. Right now, we're on agenda.
Oh, I skipped them, okay. I need a motion to either approve the agenda as is, or if there was a change, I think Councilman.
I would like to add something to add the collection,
The recycle.
the recycle collection to the agenda, please.
Okay, make a motion, second.
Second.
Okay, Councilman seconds, and,
Yes.
oh, yes, okay, all opposed, all those in favor say yay,
Aye.
or aye, all opposed say nay. Okay, passes, and so we'll add that one,
Number 7.
It'll be
to the
number
end.
7.
Add to the end, okay.
Guess we'll do that again. And we'll move it to the front.
That's what I
Yes, would you like to speak?
It's a recycling, I'll put that in there, okay. Okay, so now for the meeting minutes for last month's town council meeting. Again, this is going to be similar to the planning and zoning one. If you want to just keep it at a summary level, go ahead and just motion to approve it as is.
I'll make a motion to approve the first version of the minutes and just keep it as a summary.
I second.
Okay, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Okay.
So unless there's something blatantly wrong.
You guys will just keep it. You would
Yeah.
generally vote for that.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay, the minutes are approved as they are here. So we'll open up public comment. Do we have anybody? I don't
This
think
is
we have
for
cards.
agenda items, and I don't have any cards.
No?
No.
Okay. If anybody does, if not, there'll also be an opportunity at the end, so. Okay, so we'll close public comment. All right,
Planning and
so
zoning.
For new business, we have a presentation by Mr. Williams from Seacoast Bank. If you're ready.
Since you don't have a copy of the meeting, you might have told me.
No, I have two of the October 21st, and I don't have one.
You know, in your packet, you didn't get the agenda and all the supporting documents. She didn't get an agenda packet.
She's mine.
Use that.
Unless you got, thank you.
Okay.
Ready? Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Mr. Williams.
My name is Brent Williams. I'm with Seacoast Bank. This is Stacy Garrity. We appreciate your time this evening. Thank you for having us. We currently bank the town of Fort White. Don't think we deal too much with the council members face to face. It's nice to see you. We work with Miss Connie day to day. We're here today. We have a banking proposal for you. With your current services, you have basically basic banking services. Stacy is part of our Treasury Management Division, and we offer more advanced banking services that provide more security to you, i.e. fraud prevention, as well as some efficiency items such as a check scanner that we're going to propose in here. We think it can provide good value to the council. You currently have deposits on hand with the bank. You are paid interest on that. With this proposal, the interest paid to you is very, very close to what you currently get. So essentially what you're going to be getting is additional services that either add efficiencies or security to your accounts with the same net return to you as far as the interest paid to you. Seacoast Bank, for those unfamiliar, was established in 1926. It came to be local in this area by their acquisition of what was Drummond Bank. That was approximately 2 years ago, and Seacoast has about 85 branches, all based in Florida. Here's our team of myself, Stacy, as well as the branch managers at the Lake City office that Connie works with as well. Connie also loves to work with Charlene in our office. Here's our value proposition. Seacoast itself, we have good experienced bankers, someone you can lean on and count on when the time comes. If you ever need anything, they've got my cell number. I'm going to have to get a hold of them for the people in the know. Y'all feel free to call me if y'all ever have anything pop up too. Technology, we have all of the technology services that you're accustomed to with any smaller bank, as well as the more advanced options that Stacy can offer. We do pride ourselves on staying, on the upper threshold of new technology and investing in that. Local service, we're here locally. I was born and raised in Lake City, for those who don't know. I was with Drummond when they opened the Fort White branch here and was a big proponent of opening that branch. Stacy herself graduated from elementary school here, I believe, maybe someone. Yep, Fort White.
Yeah.
So what year?
What's your maiden name?
Nancy Saunders.
Okay.
How is she?
She's so good.
Yeah, she's so good. Small world.
Seacoast offers a couple different solutions that you may find beneficial. One is treasury management, which we're discussing today. We do have a wealth management division where if you had investable assets, we could get you higher return on those, as well as a couple other things. We do have a full suite of technology and banking services that we want to provide to you, and the bank does offer that service. If we can provide value to you, that's what we're looking for, mutual value. Stacy, from there, if you would share a little bit with them about the proposal.
So as Brent mentioned, I'm the Treasury Sales Officer, and I work with businesses like yourself in adding Treasury services to create efficiencies and to protect your accounts. So this proposal is based on September's statement, and as Brent mentioned, right now you don't have any Treasury services at all. So this proposal includes ACH origination, which allows you to send payments via ACH. It's another option instead of writing checks. You can send those payments same day ACH, schedule them out the next day or even further out, for non-recurring payments. So it creates efficiencies with your payables. And then also the remote deposit machine, that's a little machine that sits on your desk. You're able to make deposits throughout the day up until 8 p.m. at night for next day availability. So instead of having to go to the bank to make your check deposits, you can make them throughout the day, which is also a nice efficiency. Online wire, you're able to send online wires through the online banking, so you're not having to go into the bank to send the wire. And then Positive Pay, which is our fraud prevention service, I highly recommend this. We talk about this every time we're meeting with a business customer. Unfortunately, the fraudsters are, they're really good, so fraud is prevalent, unfortunately. So we're always trying to protect our customers' money by creating some protection with all of their accounts. And so it's ACH and check fraud. So the ACH protects any type of ACH debit coming out of your account without your approval. And then when you're writing checks, of course, all your information is out there when you're writing a check, your routing, account number, customer name. They can take that check, they can wash it, they can change the amount, the payee name, they can mass produce a check. So the check, whenever you issue checks, you upload that file to your online banking, so you're notifying the bank that you've issued these checks. And so you're only approving what is coming through your account, which is nice. So with adding those services, there's two options in your proposal. One option is just really, the first one is the hybrid account, which allows you to offset the fees based on the balances. So adding any treasury services, you can see the total fees due, you would have a net credit of $512. So you have enough funds in the account to offset any type of monthly service fees, which is great. But you're still earning interest as well. So the interest earned would be a little over $1,000. So the interest would be 2%, and earnings credit is basically just, we're giving you a credit again based on the average collected balances to offset those fees. So it's kind of 2-in-1 account, the hybrid, you're offsetting fees and earning interest all in the same account. And then the second option is a commercial checking account, which is kind of just a standard commercial checking account where you're earning an earnings credit as well. You're still offsetting all of the service fees by adding the treasury services, and we're giving you a little bit higher of an interest rate of 2.5. But again, the net that you're earning in interest and again offsetting all of your fees is just really what is going to work for the office and how they're going to manage the accounts. So it doesn't really matter which way you go, you're still going to end up the same with net interest and offsetting the fees. So questions?
No, I'm not gonna have that $1 million. I guess it'll be a little cheaper interest.
I'm sorry?
I'm kidding. I want to say it.
So for the agenda item for the presentation, is it just to present, or are you looking for a decision tonight?
So we met with Connie a month or two ago. We were actually talking about coming to present on last meeting. I think it was a big meeting, I had a lot of storm-related activities, so we're like, we'll wait, we'll come next time. But the positive pay, it is something that virtually all municipalities have. The fraudsters, they know who's got lots of money in their account. Municipalities are one of those. It's a question of, in my opinion, of when, not if, you're going to get hit on fraud. Y'all have been fortunate not to up until this time. But I really believe it's coming. That's what I deal with every day. Stacy probably deals with half of every day. But post-COVID, just the fraudsters and all these acts we see, they just keep getting better, and it's a risk for us as a bank and you as a municipality or even a consumer.
So what do we have now? We just have
You just got a regular
regular
checking
checking
account.
account.
So if some bad actor was to wash a check, put it through, we might check it, we might catch it, and we try to do our best, but these guys are good. They get by us.
And to give you an idea of So the customers that we have added positive pay to just this year, from January to October, the bank has prevented $21 million in fraud. So, and that's just to October.
Yeah, Jacob, so to finish up your question, we met with Ms. Connie. She said, I think we probably need this. I can approve it though, but I want you to speak to the board about it.
Gotcha, yeah.
Do it anytime we carry less money than that in the account?
Pardon me?
We're never gonna get with a monthly, right?
Well, right now, we have a plain checking account that's earning 2%.
I understand.
Okay.
But they're,
Will it go
their
below that
monthly
balance?
fees or whatever, we're never gonna drop below that balance.
Well, we could, it just depends on what we decide, to do, or what expenses come up, or what projects we undertake, and those kinds of things, so it just depends.
So if you did, so for an example, that's a great question. So for the hybrid, if you did the hybrid checking account, you would have to keep $543,000 in order to offset the fees.
Right.
And then for just the regular commercial checking, you would need to keep a little over $672,000 to offset.
Yeah, I don't see us going.
We should be below that
Yeah,
at
yeah.
any point, really.
Right. Right now, we're averaging approximately $1,800 a month in interest on that account, with none of the services.
Right.
Yeah,
So it'd drop down on this one here to 1,000, and the other one, can you go back to that? This one would be 1,024. So you're looking at the net cost being somewhere in the neighborhood of $700 to $800 a month for the fraud protection, the ACH, and what was the other thing? Remote deposits. Now, is there a possibility to just take one of the services, like just do the fraud prevention and not the ACH, and so that would change these numbers, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Why would you not do the ACH?
Because we have to, lots of times we have not just checks coming in here, and so I still have to go to the bank. I still have to go to the bank on a regular basis.
you're saying you gotta go anyway.
Yeah, I live in Lake City, so I go to the bank on my way into work every day, once a week, and make the deposits.
I do.
Instead of using
How much would that change it?
Yes, pardon me?
How much would that change the price?
If we just did the positive pay,
If you just did the
fraud.
fraud
If
protection.
you just did the fraud, yeah.
it would drop the fees, so we could adjust that, but it would drop the fees some.
Do you have any idea about what, how much?
So the monthly fee for the remote deposit is $60, and then the ACH is $30. And in the proposal, I think I did 4 batches per month typically, because if you're going to send payments, typically a business will put 5 to 10 payments in one batch, so there's a fee for a batch. And then there's a fee per item. So I just did the standard, batches and stuff with the ACH.
I'll say, ideally, I would push this to the next meeting so that I can meet with Connie or both. I mean, it sounds like it's a good product and we'll probably end up going that way. But as far as the specifics of which services we do or don't need, I'm ignorant as to that, but
I just really wanted them to to come here tonight to make you aware of this and to let you know what the options are that are out there, and then to also point out the fact that we do have no fraud protection, which, as you well know, is becoming more and more prevalent every single day.
So this is strictly just a presentation. Okay, so we can put it on the agenda for next month, and
To
I'll
approve
get
it.
with you, and if I have, and then that way
That
we
way
can make
you
a
can
motion
get
to
with me and
approve.
maybe itemize some of that instead of lumping it all together.
Absolutely.
Jacob, if you or any other council members like to set up a meeting, we'll be happy to go over with you.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions?
No?
But thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you.
You. Say hey to your mom. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, next, item, is Doug's, yes. We have an update, by Doug Sanders on the Main Street program. You ready?
Actually, there'll be several things.
Did you say go to the PowerPoint?
No,
Where is it at?
yes, that's it.
We'll talk about the CRA.
Well, first of all, congratulations to the new mayor, the new council member, and the outgoing council member. 11 years? That's incredible. Thank you.
Okay, there you go.
For the new members, my name is Doug Sanders, and I'm with Andy Easton. We're based in Tallahassee, and we've been working with the town for about almost 2 years on these programs I'm going to highlight tonight. And the first one is the CRA. And what we've done, we have set detailed maps to Columbia County. I had a meeting with the county manager and the county attorney. These maps delineate the shaded areas, there are parcels that will generate a tax increment finance under the CRA. Now the white parcels are future expansion, the blue parcels are municipal properties, and the red parcels are owned by the school district. This is the north section of the map. This is the central part of the map showing the parcels. And this is the west map. The CRA map clearly includes the area of the future wastewater treatment plant, which will greatly change the town once it's online. And what we have done after our meeting with the county manager and the town attorney, we have an ordinance that's before you tonight, the first public reading, that will delineate the CRA map, which is Exhibit A. And Exhibit B of this ordinance lists the parcels that will generate what is called tax increment financing under the CRA. Once that's done, perhaps in the future, there's already a draft interlocal agreement because Columbia County is a charter county, which is a mini constitution government. It streamlines a lot of functions that are not found in other counties. And I was amazed that Columbia County is a charter county because I know big counties like Osceola and Orange County were never able to achieve that. So Commissioner Ford, that's quite an accomplishment for this county.
Therefore, I was there.
Well, somebody was on the ball very hard for a small county in 2002 that had only 75,000 people to vote a charter government. So that is remarkable. And so the CRA, as it is now, will be submitted to the county commission under an interlocal agreement, which is a delegation of authority. It's about 10 pages or whatever, and it goes into detail about what will be collected as the property values go each year. Yes?
Do we have to have an Avalon tax to be available to give this money?
No.
We don't have to have an Avalon tax.
Whatever ad valorem tax is available would be subject to the CRA. If this town does do a local, that just would be addition.
Does Columbia County got to okay this to give us
Yes,
that
it
tax
has to go
money?
to an interlocal agreement. But we can't reach that point until we have this ordinance here. The county needs to know what the boundary is, what the parcels are,
Right.
where the expansion would be, and that's all been answered. Well, that will be part of the discussions in 2025. So the next thing I wanted to bring attention is the Main Street program. So Andy East and I, we go to the state capitol in an auditorium that's 5 times the size of this building. I stand before them representing a town that's under 600 people. And they look at me, and I can tell on their faces, why would this small town want to be a Main Street program? Why do you want to be on the same level as Gainesville, Tallahassee, Orlando? Why would this little town do that? But they agreed to our presentation, and I'm waiting to hear, in the 40-year history of Main Street in Florida, You're the smallest town to get that. When I came to Fort White and I met Connie for the first time, this building across the street looked like that. But in recent weeks, it's changed. And I use this in Tallahassee. This is the spirit. This is the vision of this town. It's represented across the street from Town Hall. I don't know who the property owners are. I do not know. I do not know how much money they're spending, but they're spending money. This is not cheap to do this. It was amazing. This is the Main Street area. It's half of the CRA, mostly the northern part. We were required in our application to submit 25 photographs. So I spent a weekend up here using the Alaska Hotel, coming in here on Sunday morning, and I told Main Street in Tallahassee, I don't know how many towns are left in Florida, but Fort White is a town that is quiet on Sunday morning. Everybody's going to church. This is the kind of spirit that we see here in the town. I showed them pictures. As an outsider looking at your community for almost 2 years, you have stunning architecture. It wasn't very hard to find pictures to show Tallahassee who is Fort White. Under the application, the town agreed that the depot would be the center for Main Street for 3 years. The utilities, Wi-Fi, the computer would be set aside by the town. The town's budget already includes a budget of $24,000 for the next 3 years. And for the new members and for the audience, Main Street is an apprenticeship for 3 years. You have to prove to the state that what we put in our application, we can do this. We can bring the town together, we can do citywide functions, there will be communications. We're talking about the frustration of social media. Wouldn't it be nice to have a newsletter, Mayor, issued by Main Street? And we had 35 businesses at our organizational meeting in August. We've already had applications. I told the mayor and his wife applied for it. And I hope all these people that signed up, I hope the people that have applied to be the executive director, I hope they're with us in January when we get that letter of authorization from the Florida Secretary of State. So Main Street is an apprenticeship. A boatload of backup will be available for the executive director. He or she will not be by herself. And that's the most visible point in this town. I can't think of anything else more visible than Mayor's Park. There's a DOT station that says 8,000 to 9,000 people come through this town every day. 8,000 to 9,000 people. And you'll have a Main Street logo on the depot, and they will see that. And whoever this person will be can be a conduit for the town, the public relations, talking about the springs. I mentioned that to Tallahassee. This town is near some of the most famous springs in Florida. There's 700 springs in North Florida. Most of them are in Columbia County. Well, another thing I want to update you on.
Share with them that they approved this. The
Oh,
board,
yeah.
the board approved it. It's just a matter of the Secretary of State signing the approval letter and sending it back to the
Right.
town.
We got a unanimous vote. Our presentation was about an hour. We waited about 30 minutes or so, and they approved the recommendation.
The official, like, certification of approval, you said like towards the end of the year.
Mhm. A lot of the functions of the state have been hampered by the hurricanes. And a lot of meetings and procedures and Zoom conferences have been delayed. But I wanted to update you on parks. Now, another thing that this council, the clerk's office, and the town attorney have worked with me. We won $50,000 for your Central Park. We won $50,000 for Dees Park. What that means is we will be able to buy something like this play station. We'll be able to do picnic tables, park benches, park lighting, and administration of the grant. This has taken us a year to get the grant applied, be approved. We had to go through a commencement documentation. The town had no surveys on these properties. We do now. The town had no title opinion on these properties. We do now. So the town is in good shape officially. You can show you own these properties through the years. The town's over 140 years. If there were surveys, they were lost. But that's been taken care of. As I said, J.B. Bryant Park also received $50,000. And we will also be able to go out there, and this is just as a representation. We'll do a picnic, PlayStation, picnic tables, a pavilion upgrade, baseball field upgrade, administration of this grant. We'll extend a drinking fountain line out there. We'll provide lighting, parking, and signage. And if you go out to J.B. Bryant Park now, there's nothing there. When I first came to Fort White, there was a backhoe holding up the basketball court. Bad, the parking is. Well, that's going to change. The depot and the caboose. When Andy told me about Fort White, and he said, you will like working with Fort White, because I'm a train enthusiast. And I admire the Atlantic coastline, of which this depot is. Tomorrow, I will be here at City Hall, and we will have a Zoom conference, and they're going to go through all the grants. The ones we submitted and the ones submitted across the state. When we were in Tallahassee last week, we talked about the status. We're trying to get your people on the National Register. What would you say to new members of this council if I told you you have 2 listings in this small town already on the National Register? And one of them are over here, and what you call the fort are on the National Register. It's really remarkable. It's such a small town. There's 20 listings in Columbia County, so the historic richness of this county is quite visible. Tomorrow, we'll find out if we can have $170,000, $50,000 for the depot restoration, and the caboose gets the chunk of the money. It's in really bad shape. And the caboose is made out of a cardboard-like substance. During World War II, metal was scarce. Somehow, the railroad thought they could get by with a caboose made out of cardboard. If you go out there, you can poke your fist through the depot. But what we're hoping tomorrow is we will have $170,000 for the depot. And finally, the last update, and I was going to ask tonight, anybody know why this property is called the fort? It doesn't look like a fort to me. Anybody know? Anyway, it's on the National Register. And the town has already received, from Highmark Inspections in Lake City, an analysis of the condition of the building. It's in bad shape. But we found an engineering firm in Tampa that is going to put numbers to those assessments. And the fort is a district, but we're only talking about building number 7, which is plenty of room for City Hall. Imagine a year or so from now, to have an auditorium, all your offices, you won't be jammed in like this, you'll have plenty of parking, you'll have tremendous visibility, something to look forward to. ICE, which is the acronym for the company based in Tampa, will look at the roof, the exterior, the basement, the foundation, the crawl space, the flues and chimneys, heating and ventilation, plumbing, electrical, insulation, ventilation, the doors, the windows, the interior, the life safety codes, and the cooking area. Quite a task. And I got them to agree to charge the city only $500. When that's all done, Andy and I have already been talking to Congresswoman, and she said she would sponsor a congressional appropriation between $1 and $2 million. That's what it's going to take. That's my guess. I've never been in the building, so I don't know. It's a brick facade, but I don't know what it looks like inside. But it's over 100 years old, and it's been empty for a number of years. And everybody that's been in real estate knows a vacant building sitting idle, it just destroys the integrity of the building. So the new council members, you've got a great year ahead of you. 2025 is going to be a milestone year for Fort White. I've presented a lot of things. Are there any questions at this point?
It's all great. That meeting tomorrow is going to be with who? That Zoom call you said that you were going to have?
Pardon me?
That Zoom call you said that you were gonna have.
Yeah, it's
tomorrow.
with the Florida Division of Historical Resources. And they're live streaming. And I'll be here if anybody wants to come down. I'm sure Tom can put it up on the screen here. Now, it's a long affair. You have to wait for your project to come up. So you might be here a while. But I felt it would be of interest. You don't have to participate, but I know, I'm a firm believer in face-to-face negotiations. That's what happened in Tallahassee. For Andy and I to be there and defend a small town against Tallahassee, they took note. And with all the pictures and everything that's going on, they realize this has been happening in the last 15 months. It's a renaissance for the town.
Anybody have any questions? Yeah, please.
I was just gonna say, if any of you guys are thinking about coming and participating here or whatever at that meeting, just one of you needs to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just one. So y'all can talk that out now or whatever, but just don't all come out here.
I didn't think about that. Might be a sunshine violation. Yes, sir.
I just had a question. I know several months ago they were talking about acquiring that building from Columbia, the school board.
Yeah, the school board's going to donate it to the county, or to the town.
It was conditioned on the repairs and all that stuff, so I never saw like a follow-up on that.
The follow-up's tonight.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah. I'm asking the council to accept the school board's offer. I know it's a risk, but so all these things I mentioned tonight was a risk too. When I met you 15 months ago, you didn't have any of this. You had 2 parts, empty, the depot empty. You had no local tax to help generate. That's all changed.
Cool. Okay, so we need a motion to approve ordinance number 2024-11, an ordinance of the town of Fort White, Florida.
I get it.
Oh, we're done? Okay. Jumping the gun.
No, thank you. That's the spirit I'm talking about. That's what's changing this town.
So
I told them that you guys did a yard sale.
Our previous conversations about it before, where we got a report with everything that was wrong with it, it was substantial. And we wanted to find out if one of these grants would actually support the renovation.
And the short answer to that is, it's easier to do it this way. We were looking at USDA, because it's going to take a big grant to fix that building.
Right.
And she volunteered. She sent an email to Connie, and Connie brought it to my attention, and Andy and I talked to her, and she said, fortunately, she got reelected. So she congressmen are reelected every 2 years. So I felt that was very outstanding.
I don't think you can let that opportunity go by.
Right.
But I don't think that we can really make a commitment that we want it without knowing if we're going to actually get the grant, right? That's still in the air, correct?
Well, the town's budget, what, is 400,000? That'd wipe you out in the first world.
Right.
Well, just accepting it, does that mean that we're doing the renovation? We might accept it and then see that it's not feasible.
It is a gamble. But I want the time to work with her. There's, not only is there a lot of change going on in Fort White, in case you haven't noticed, there's going to be a big change in Washington. And I'm counting on that. Trump's coming in and he's, well, pardon my expression, he's kicking butt. Well, while he's kicking butt, maybe he'll find $2 million for us. And so really, 2025 is going to be a great opportunity for this town to have a new location.
But again, accepting the building, does that commit the town to restoring it?
Yes.
So we can operate.
Please.
I wasn't aware, maybe I just missed something along the line. I wasn't aware that we were at the point of the school district ready to write us or execute a deed or whatever in our behalf for the board.
We're not.
We're not.
They're
Okay.
waiting on us to do this research, to get some figures together, to see if it's something that the town is going to be capable
That
of
makes
taking on.
That makes sense. Okay, so what we're really deciding is if we can go forward with pursuing the funds
Right.
to do that, and if we get that locked down, then they can do it. So I don't think we're making a decision tonight to.
Oh, no,
to
I
just take.
didn't mean to mislead the council. I'm just giving you a preview. It's gonna take time for ICE to go through that building, just like it did for the other company to go through the building and find out what's wrong with it.
Right, but there has to be a commitment from a grant before an actual negotiation.
Yeah, I'm
Or before a contract is signed of any kind, right?
I'm hoping
Okay.
the early part of next year, I'll come back and tell you it's gonna take X number of dollars. Will you give me permission to have the congresswoman's do the appropriation? And we'll take care of that, and we'll submit it.
And probably what we'll do is we're doing that over in Gilchrist County now with a school, a potential new school funding is that we may apply as an agent for the school district because right now it's owned by the school district, right? So we may apply as agent for the school district with all these funds to get it all locked down. If then that works, then we can go forward with that. So you haven't obligated yourself.
All right, so it's not quite a risk yet.
Correct.
I think the school board just wants to see from us that we're moving forward and making an effort to do this.
I would like to add that the engineer that will be the project engineer assessing this, the last hurricane, he didn't evacuate. He saw his neighborhood destroyed. He lost his home, and yet he committed to this. He's living in a hotel all this time. So I thought that was a tremendous commitment on his part.
I'm all about getting for it, because the money's got to be there for action.
Yeah, I can't,
Say
okay,
yes.
so that's what you were saying, Councilman, Lauren, if in approving this, we make the commitment.
That's just
go
for
forward.
That's just for
Just
the
to go forward.
The CRA has nothing to do with the
I'm trying to, okay, that's why I'm confused.
Right.
I'm trying to find out where the form is on the agenda.
Yeah, you don't have no documents.
It's under his update, he's just updating us.
Okay,
The only thing
okay.
I'm asking the council tonight, give us permission to delineate CRA so I can show this ordinance to the county manager and the county attorney and let them look at that and then proceed forward with the interlocal agreement. That's all I'm asking tonight.
That's the CRA, but that's
That's
not what
number
we're talking,
three.
right, that's not what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, he was just giving an update on the
Okay.
project.
That's why I was confused.
Then we'll move to number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so I need either a motion to, I guess, what is it?
You don't need to, we have to do the reading of,
No, for number 2.
for number.
What do we have to do for number 2?
Done,
Thank Doug.
done to go, thank you,
He's
Doug.
done months and months of work on his own.
He says something about being charged $500, which I think is reasonable, more than reasonable, to do this work. Now, would that need to be done prior to making these applications for the
The
appropriate?
company knows Andy and I for many years, they've already started work. I checked with Connie, what is the limitations the town can do without bidding the project out, and she said $500.
Well, I'm just making sure that I think the council understands that the only thing that we're really, it sounded, and I was listening to your presentation, it sounded like the only thing we're sort of committing to do at this point is spending $500 to have them do the evaluation.
The company's not told me, but somebody in Fort White drives from Fort White to Tampa every day and works for ICE. So he or she has been my ambassador. And every time I reach out to him, she says, wait a minute, I live in this town. Let's do this. I know what the fort is. So I was very impressed with that.
Okay, all right, so if that's no formal action, thank you, Doug, appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to agenda item 3. First reading of ordinance 2024-11, which I think, Doug, that's what you just went over. It included the tax incremental funding parcels and the map for what will be, what's included in the CRA. Okay, questions on?
Need to read
What
them.
we
I'm gonna read, I'm just, before, any question? No, okay. Okay, I need a motion to approve ordinance number.
You need to read it
I'm gonna
first.
read it, and then the motion say just approve what he said. 2024-11, ordinance of the town of Portland, providing for the area mapping and boundary of a local redevelopment area, CRA, providing for future CRA expansion, providing for inclusion and exclusion of tax increment financing, TIF, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Move.
Need a motion to approve and amend that. Everyone's ready?
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2024-11.
Second? Oh,
Your second?
no, I said I'll wait. You said second?
It approves it to move to the second reading.
Yeah, that's all we're doing.
Right.
Yeah, right. And this won't be passed until we read it again and next month, and then it'll be, right.
All in favor?
Oh, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Okay, passed. I think that was unanimous. Okay, the reversion agreement from Columbia County, okay. Oh, excuse me. All right, so I was here during one of the council meetings where I think this came up, and I guess real quick, I'll give a brief kind of lowdown of my understanding. My understanding is we paid some money, approximately $300,000 for a water project. In return, we're supposed to receive the approximately $300,000 worth of equipment, which is the backhoe and I think the other tractor, I'm not sure what specifically it is. Dump truck. Backhoe and dump truck. And I guess the contention right now is this reversion agreement that the county sent basically says, hey, if you pull out and Fort White starts managing its own water, this equipment will revert back to the county. So I think what the contention is, what's at issue is, from what I've heard so far, and I think probably I'll end up having a meeting with the manager and Commissioner Ford and maybe the county attorney to try to get to the bottom of it, is what was the agreement? Was the agreement was, hey, we'll pay this $300,000 and we'll get this equipment free and clear, or was it always based on us being part of an interlocal? I think that is what is that issue. Is that everyone's kind of understanding?
That's been, and I think that is everyone's understanding, and that's been hashed out. The former mayor and I attended a meeting, gosh, it's been in January, where we thought that it was put to bed, that we were getting the equipment for us to use however we saw fit, because it benefits the citizens of Columbia County, who are also citizens of Fort White. And since then, it's become something different. It really, I would suggest it really, I don't know how much longer we could debate the same thing over and over. The council just needs to make a decision. We had a letter from Mr. Krause that's included in your packet where he says, hey, here's your equipment. It doesn't mention any type of reversion stuff. The reversion stuff came along much later on in the discussion. It doesn't matter at this point from the standpoint of the fact that the county is of the position that the equipment is conditional on us signing this agreement. We got an email from Mr. Krause not long ago, where back during the hurricane, where I believe Ms. Connie had sent out an email saying, hey, can we use this stuff that's sitting here on our lot? Because we haven't agreed on whether or not to enter into this reversion agreement. Mr. Krause said, yeah, sure, it's yours, right? And I'm paraphrasing, but he said, it's yours, take it, use it. So we did. And then after that, we got an email from the county attorney saying, hey guys, you need to sign this reversion agreement because I understand you're using our equipment. So that's where it is. There's nothing more to it. There really isn't. I mean, it's just either the town is going to agree to sign the reversion agreement, which just says it's ours unless we pull out of the interlocal agreement with water, or not. And I assume that if the or not answer is your decision, it doesn't matter, it's your decision, right? Then the county probably is going to want their equipment. Okay, So that's it. I don't know if there's any more nuance that could be put on it than that. It's a pretty clear position. That's their position. This is our position. So who blinks?
I'll say, I wouldn't want to sign the agreement without speaking to the county first and the county attorney with our attorney present and seeing if we can come to an understanding. Sounds like their opinion is we may not be able to, but I'd like to give it a shot and try, speak, see if reasonable minds can meet, and then if not, the good old college try. I mean, but as of right now, as of right now, I wouldn't want to sign it until I spoke with the,
My opinion is, be done with, either way, it's their equipment. It's not our equipment. We ain't got nothing in writing when we sold equipment, bought equipment, whatever we traded. We have absolutely nothing that's legal saying it's ours. The county will take it if we don't sign this agreement. Right now, we've got it, it's ours. They've got the water, that's what they want. They've got it, we're doing it. I mean, we're in a contract with them for the water. That's just my opinion. They've got other people on the board. I'm just tired of hearing the same thing about this equipment. Kind of dragging out with the collective, and I'm ready to end that too. One way or the other, I'm ready, let's move on with this stuff. We got a waste system coming, $8 million waste system coming, and we don't even talk about it in the meeting. It don't even come up. We got way bigger projects. We got Doug with his projects coming. We don't even talk about these projects. We talk about this daggone equipment and the collective. That's what our meetings are about.
So they already have the water, so why do we need to sign for the equipment?
I think the concern is that if in the future, if we ever were water self-sustaining, we ever manage our own water,
Then they get their equipment back.
You think if it's 5 years old, they want that tractor back?
Well, then we'll get it back if we sign the reversion agreement.
If it's 5 years old when we sign that, they will not come and get that tractor, I promise you. The county will run new equipment.
Well, I'll let Rocky speak here in a second, but
It's my
Mr. Landers.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
It's my understanding that we still don't have insurance or a tag to accompany the equipment.
that's my understanding as well.
It's kind of been a hostage situation.
They're not-
And it seems like you're in a total shift than before, because we have been talking about this equipment and the water and the collective. The collective doesn't really have anything to do with this discussion,
No, it don't.
but they have to be talked about until each and everything is resolved.
What am I in a shift about? We've got the equipment. We signed the paper, we're keeping the equipment. I mean, I've said that in the meeting. I told Ronnie, 2 meetings, might have been 3 meetings ago, let's sign and be done with it. I mean, what are they gonna do? I mean, Mr. Leonard, is there any legal, I mean, we ain't gonna sue the county for sure. The county's the backbone of full life. So, I mean, is there any legal thing that I'm missing?
The answer to every question like that is maybe.
That's right, that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
We
again,
gotta understand though, we should have had something in writing when we spent the $300,000.
Well, I think they did,
No?
and I wasn't at any of those meetings, but hearsay from this panel was that they did. And I really don't care about the equipment. I just don't like that there's deceit between the parties.
Sure, I don't know if I was sitting here or Mr. Coberline was here when the initial discussions and stuff went through.
That's exactly right, Mr. Coberline was here when we first started talking about it.
And so I'm not trying to throw Mr. Coberline under the bus, I'm just saying, I don't recall if that was before or after my tenure. But I think what you're talking about is that we had communication from Mr. Kraus, who basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, but we had his written documents, his emails and stuff, letters, that said here, you're participating in this, here's this equipment, we're gonna get you this equipment and all. And then we were later told, well, Mr. Kraus doesn't speak can't speak for the county commissioners. Again, I I'm with Mr. Coon is that we have had these discussions a lot. I mean, I think that the facts are the facts, okay? We participated in this project. They sent us this equipment. The first time we ever heard about it being conditional was after those two things had happened, okay? Now, whether the county meant for these things to be conditional or not, it's fine, and they may have. They have always meant for them to be conditional. But the first time, so I'm not throwing off on the county commission. I know I've got a county commissioner sitting behind me. Doesn't matter, I'm not throwing off on the county commission. I'm saying that they have an interpretation of events as they perceive them. Our interpretation of events is that the reversion was first noted to us after these things had happened. And so we've had a problem with that, and that's what's led to the stalemate. That's my interpretation of your interpretation of how it went.
Anything that might be valuable? Everybody said everything. These are the facts.
This has been said, but I'll say it again. The equipment is of no value to anyone just sitting out there.
True. Right, go ahead, yeah.
Can you go to the podium?
Can Rocky
Can we
go
speak
to
to the podium? Yeah. That's where you should speak at that podium.
Yeah.
How you probably figure it is.
So I was in this conversation from the beginning. Your attorney is exactly right. He got in on it later. So the whole deal with the county and the town of Fort White about the equipment. So we were going to form a utility. That hadn't been talked about at all. The county and the town of Fort White was going to form a utility with the water and the sewer coming to town of Fort White. The town of Fort White had ARPA money. I don't know how much they have left. They had several, I think over $1 million, or way over $1 million ARPA money. Or with grants and whatever. So anyway, the $300,000 was ARPA money. So we agreed when we'd go ahead and buy the equipment, and the town would spend $300,000 worth of ARPA money on the water plant. That was the agreement. The whole $300,000 was spent in the town of Fort White on the water plant in Fort White. Connie wrote the checks, Connie paid the bills. The county never had $300,000 of Fort White's money. Every bit of the money was spent on the water plant. The agreement with the town of Fort White and the county was that the equipment would be owned by the utility that the county and the town was going to form. And the equipment would be stationed in Fort White. And town of Fort White had free use of the equipment, whatever they needed it for. And the utility would use the equipment. That was the whole agreement. Well, the utility never materialized. To this day, I don't guess we've ever heard an answer from the town of Fort White on the utility. As far as the county goes, we don't know where that's at. We never heard anything. Fort White never responded to the utility in no way whatsoever. So that's why the revert clause was put on the equipment, that as long as we were involved in the water system and doing the utilities for Fort White, equipment stay in Fort White. That was our agreement. And that's what the other commissioners agreed to. That's what they said at the meeting. That's where it's at. Now, I agree with Mr. Coon. You signed this piece of paper that's saying, you know, the reverter clause is called from the attorneys. 5 years from now, 4 years from now, whatever. I don't foresee the county ever coming and get that equipment. Can I say they won't? No, I can't. I'm just a commissioner too. I'm one of 5. So that was the agreement. That's how it all come about. And that's how the reverter clause come into play. Because there is no utility between the town of Fort White and the county. And when all that was agreed on, there was an agreement between the town of Fort White and the county that we were going to form a utility for the water and sewer coming to town of Fort White. Matter of fact, the county participated in all the grants for the sewer coming to Fort White. I myself spent countless days in Tallahassee petitioning for the town of Fort White for the sewer. Mr. Bob White used to work, he passed away now, worked for Greg Bailey, Northport Fest Service. Me and him made several trips to Tallahassee. So you know, I just want to give everybody a history of how the equipment got the way it is right now. I was there from the beginning, I have negotiated, I brought it before the Board of County Commissioners to buy the equipment. So, that's where it's at. Anything said other than that is not fact.
Oh, even, I would, this is my first time, I would wait a month so that I could speak to Rocky and the attorneys but
Mr. Mayor, in my opinion, I'll give you that month. But it was not handled right to start with. If we think we touched on that equipment, we should have had a written agreement to start with before we ever spent $300,000.
I don't disagree with that.
And, I mean, I think it cost us.
That's true, I was saying that
But if
ARPA
you,
money has to be spent on infrastructure.
I understand that. I mean, does everybody understand that? We about had to spend it on the water system, but if that was the agreement that we thought was the right agreement, it wasn't handled right.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that.
There's a lot of people,
And
I
was
made
part of that
mistakes.
300,000 some equipment that was purchased for the tanks out there and has been returned or something? And I might be off track.
What
Do you
was
know
that
what I'm
question
trying to
again?
say?
I'll try to.
Of that 300,000, was there some equipment laying beside
there
or?
was some we
That equipment has
returned.
been returned, and I guess for a while was refunded money for that, am I correct, honey?
Yes.
So it wasn't
It
just
wasn't equipment, it was,
$300,000 thrown down the hole?
It was a filtration medium that they
So
were
that-
gonna put in that proved not to be effective, that was returned and the
Like
money
us.
was returned.
Like I said, Fort White paid all the bills, any refunded money comes back to the county of Fort White. The county was never in possession of $300,000 in
Yeah, and I'm not saying y'all were, I'm just clarifying that that money just wasn't thrown in a hole.
No, it wasn't on it, no, we used
No, it was all spent on the water fund.
The reason the town agreed to spend that money on the water infrastructure was because of the fact that we were in an interlocal agreement with the county. At that time, we had already entered into the interlocal agreement where the county was responsible for the operation and all maintenance of the water plant, okay? They were responsible for all the maintenance, all the repairs, all the improvements. So that's where we came up with the idea that, well, we need equipment, but we can't spend this $300,000 on equipment because of the constraints of the ARPA money. So the agreement was made because they were responsible for all the maintenance and repairs, et cetera, of that plant, that they would give us the equipment if we spent the $300,000 on the plant.
So,
Not
Of
exactly,
improvements.
Not exactly.
Yes, that
We
is.
would give the equipment to the utility.
Like I said.
We bought the equipment for the utility.
originally that was,
Like I said, it wasn't done right, because I was in agreement with getting equipment too.
yeah, and like I said,
I sat in a meeting up there, and they said it was bought for Fort White, give it to them.
Yeah.
I come back to Fort White, we get the equipment.
Fort
Well,
White has the
and
equipment.
everything I knew, we had got a letter.
I know.
But
go ahead.
I just have one question.
Calm us all down here, Stu.
Relax. The interlocal agreement that we just brought up states that the county pays the town of Fort White $25,000 a year.
3 years.
The interlocal agreement between the county and the town states that the county pays the town of Fort White $25,000 a year to operate its utility. I read that today. Now, the town of Fort, the county's not gonna operate the utility anymore because you go into, what is it, US Water? That the county just recently approved. Is the county still responsible for paying the town $25,000 a year? And what effect does that have on the interlocal agreement? And that's just a question, because I looked at that this afternoon, and it's kind of confusing. So I think that's something that the town council needs to investigate. Because you may be entitled to $25,000 a year besides the equipment. And I would just add that I was at all those meetings, which I've said before to this town council. When they were meeting, Rocky was there, Fred Cobaline was there, Joel Foreman was there, everybody was there. And people from the town were there, Connie came to a couple of meetings, I believe. And there was never any mention at any of those meetings that there was any caveat on giving the town of Fort White that equipment. None. Not one time during the meetings between the town and the county was it ever mentioned that this reversion agreement is all ex post facto. It means after the fact.
Exactly.
And, but I think that has to be looked into, and whether or not the town is still responsible to get $25,000 a year from the county. Thank you for your time, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Stu. Yeah, I guess I'll say this one last thing, and then we'll just, somebody will make a motion to postpone or approve or deny. So I agree with Councilmember Kuhn in this sense. We played ourselves. We should have had a contract. Okay, that's done. I see it from the county's perspective of, hey, there's this funding, you can only ever use it for this one thing, and it's for the town of Fort White. So, yeah, naturally, that's how you're going to use it. But we bought this equipment with county funds. I get it. But at the same time, I also get that that's $300,000 of equipment for the town of Fort White. To be fair, there's two sides. So my thing is that I would like, yeah, you know, this is a dead horse, but I just got here. I would like, can we postpone this for 30 days? I'll meet with Rocky up, you know.
Kick it.
Mr. Mayor, you wouldn't be meeting with me, you would be meeting with the county attorney.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very
you
well.
wouldn't be meeting with me.
Okay.
Whoever's
the right person. Yeah.
according to the charter with the county, I don't have that authority.
Okay. Got it. And at that point, we'll be back to square one, maybe with more information, and we'll just have to decide, hey, you want to let it go? If the evidence is in our favor, we want to bring suit. Ideally, not. We'd be able to work something out. So, but anyway, a motion either to, oh yeah.
No, I was waiting, I thought you was still out my last meeting, the council, but you guys got anything want to add to it, or what's your thoughts?
I think in fairness, that
Yeah.
you do need to have that month of,
Catch up.
yeah.
Okay, motion to postpone to.
Motion to continue to the next
Continue.
meeting.
Motion for continuance.
I'll make a motion, we continue this to the next meeting.
Second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Uh,
Well, opposed say nay. No nays?
Number 5 is simply information. Just back in February, we applied to DOT for their SCOT program for 3 resurfacing projects within the town of Fort White, and we have been awarded the project for Yulon Street resurfacing. And that's what's in your packet was the original application. And it's just to inform everybody that we have been approved for the resurfacing of Yulon.
good.
Which is straight up.
Yeah, that's this. Yeah, that's this here.
Now, it won't happen this is on the 5-year plan, so it won't happen for 5 years. But it's approved and it's in the system, so the
This is what we got here.
money's allocated, and that's the way the SCOT program always works. It's on the 5-year work plan for the DOT.
Is there a written contract? Agreement?
Yes, there will be.
You probably just said this, Connie. When was the approval? When did the approval come through?
It came through 2 weeks ago.
Okay. So I think this is
That's just the application that you have showing what we asked for.
right. Okay. Okay. This agenda item. So that was pretty much just an update then.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. All right. Agenda item 6, selection of vice mayor. So, and I think we went over it in the very beginning or even prior. Mary Fleming was the previous vice mayor. That's why she was able to call the meeting to order.
Okay.
So in the absence of myself, the mayor, The vice mayor would basically run the meetings. So does anybody want to follow
I'll nominate Captain Terry.
on the sword?
He don't need every meeting anyway.
Do it. It's just right. I do it. So you second?
Second.
Oh.
She can't say herself.
I tried to get you. We got,
Anything we want to discuss?
No, I hope there's not a need for it, because
I'll second it.
Well,
As the mayor, vice mayor, I'll second it. So, okay, all in favor, say aye.
right.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Okay,
Welcome.
motion passes. We've got to do vice mayor, councilwoman.
and may I have that in writing also?
It will be, yes, that should be, yes, that will be right. And, okay, so agenda items seven was about the recycling. I'm not tracking on that. Councilmember Coon, I think you,
Okay, last month, we discontinued our services for the recyclables. I would like to bring that back. And as a temporary, until we figure out where to put it and how to do it, I would like to put it out back here. And it would be just open when that gate's open, business hours. That gate will be locked, there won't be no dumping.
Which is what, 8 to 5, 9 to 5?
When do they open that gate?
7 to 3:30.
That's fair.
I mean, that just,
And what are we gonna do?
I've had a
with the
lot,
dumping?
ma'am,
And what are we gonna do when they dump out here?
well, we might have to close it, but I've had a lot.
No, I mean to clean it
No,
up, to deal with it.
Don't we have some workers for the city?
Well, what happens is, of course we do, but what happens is then, if there are sofas and large items and things like that, and any kind of hazardous materials, then it all has to be hauled up to the landfill and we have to pay.
Okay.
very well. So let me ask, so why was it closed down?
For those reasons.
In the
No,
first
no, that wasn't the reason, really.
That was the lot of reason of it.
I'll let Mr.
It's in a area that's not really
Safe.
safe for that. It's down there, no lights at night, I mean, it's wooded,
It's in the woods.
yeah, and somebody will mess around and get hurt when they robbed or something right there.
Open.
And so, and we didn't know if anybody was using it or not. I thought we was checking in to see how much they was using it too. But they're using it a lot, because I got 14 or even 15 phone calls on it, as soon as it was closed, begging to have a place to do recycling. We didn't even know at the time, because Stu told us that it was, I'm using your name. He told us that Columbia County was just taking it up to the dump and dumping it. But they do have a recycle. They are recycling this stuff. So we thought we was going by Stu, and we thought maybe they was just taking it up there and dumping it, and then it wasn't worth it.
So the county would take it,
The county controls it. The county does it. We don't do it. No, I don't do it.
But we
The
own-
county's the one
we own the
spending the money on it
property.
and everything. It's just on our property.
So will the county
Gotcha.
take it from back here?
Yes, they will.
Rocky?
We took it from down there too. We've got, so what it is roll-off containers. And we have a roll-off truck. And we pick them up and dump them.
They got a side at the dump, they got a side at the fairgrounds, and they got a side in Full Light. That's the 3 sites the county has.
So it was closed for a couple of reasons. It was buried in the woods, people were dumping stuff because it was secluded. And to Mr. Keen's point, it was kind of a dangerous situation for
I think people would be less likely to throw couches and stuff out
Yeah.
back here than down there where nobody can see them.
Put signs up,
With you on.
put signs up, put a camera up.
Put some cameras
We
up.
can deter them not dumping stuff right here. But we might want to move it one day, but we gotta come up with a better place than where we had it, if we want to open it back up, in my opinion. So,
okay, I think, yeah, I mean, I think that's reasonable. If there are issues, we'll have to address those, and there might be a better location.
Mr. Coon's property is pretty good.
yeah.
Got a lot of
We'll
property
take it
out
up there.
Okay.
I mean, I give my opinion, we need to open it back up and put it back here until we can find a better place.
I agree.
Put it where?
That's the one.
Acting.
On your property.
Right inside them gates.
Oh, no.
Well,
That's
we
not a
finna
good
vote on it.
idea.
We finna vote on it right here.
What? Hold on.
Are there containers, you just said the roll-off thing, is that a container?
dumpster.
Yes, okay.
Roll-off container.
Because they can't just pull up and empty their trunk on the ground.
Well, they can.
Well, ideally they don't,
Yeah.
because a container will be provided.
I really don't know how much was blurred out at the other place, so
Well, you can go down and look, it's on the ground right now, what's been there. I mean,
I've shown y'all pictures before.
Before we make a
We've
motion,
had 'em.
Buster, I want to get, because you're,
I mean, you're talking about putting it here in our yard?
Yes.
I think that's what,
That's not a good idea. We had it over here across the street years ago.
Well, it sure don't look good right there in front of our
I'm
building.
just telling you, well, we had it right across the street over here.
I know where it didn't look good either.
I know, it's not gonna look good back there, because you got anybody coming in,
Do you own the
we're not here all day.
We don't own that across the street.
Security
Sorry.
risk.
Don't own that property.
We used to,
Oh, yeah, you.
years ago in the 90s.
okay.
And we used to carry it all ourselves.
Yeah, I'm sympathetic to what he's saying. I mean, does it make sense to find a better location? As opposed to just putting it right out back here?
I said temporary.
I agree. And you have the workers with equipment sometimes coming back and forth out of there. I don't think it's a good location to put it back there either. I think it's a safety issue. If they're coming out with some equipment and somebody's dumping trash.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Security.
Not only that, but all the people
I
that
think
live
we need
down on Wilson Springs Road will get to drive by and look at the dump.
Dump.
The new dog.
I agree with Councilmember Kuhn. It sounds like we do need one, so I do think there is a legitimate need. I don't know that we should just, maybe that might be a little trigger happy just to put it here. Do we want to maybe identify a better, make sense to identify a better location, or?
We only own so much land. Only have so much space.
I'm all for putting it somewhere else. I was using that for
In the
a
next-
get by until we could find a place to put it. I
In
don't
the
know.
next 30 days.
I don't know of another safe place.
You think you and I can identify a location, a better location than that?
I'm against the recycling.
You think it's worth a try?
No, I'm just against the recycling because it's just too messy. They just make a mess every time we try to run this thing. That's just,
You
because I've
know,
been here working.
we've had a lot of
Not
calls here at
everybody
Town
recycles.
Hall.
I work it, so
We've had a lot
that's
of
just
people
where I am.
call Town Hall, and they want to know why. And the minute that we tell them why, because people don't behave themselves, they use it as a dump, and it's not recycling anymore, it's a dump. And the minute we explain that, and I'm sorry, but a few bad apples spoil it for everybody. They accept it, and they say, oh, okay, we understand, and they move on.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to do this in a more structured way, I think. Again, I think you've identified a real need. I just don't know if that necessarily is the answer. I would wait on, and I'm willing to put in the time and do some research on it, but.
Why are the recycle bins big roll-off dumpsters? Why aren't they more contained containers where they can't dump large items?
They are.
They
People
are.
dump large items next to them.
Yeah, they're not used.
They dump it out on the
They have,
ground.
they have little slots and stuff.
Because
You're
it's
supposed to
secluded
slide
down
on.
there, and they can pull in there and do that. I mean, it's just a easy place to do it. If you ride down there and look at it, you throw anything out, body, anything.
All right.
Look at it. It is. The recycling's a good idea, but that's not a good spot.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So we want to push this and identify a better location. I think, like I say, it's a
We
real
can
need.
do it, I was just trying to get it back up before the people call me. I want somebody's phone number that I can give them, say, here, call this person because
Yeah.
they want to delay it.
Oh, you could, yeah, that maybe they could work it, yeah.
No, I want to call Johnny.
No, I'm
I'm not voting on this.
Connie has, yeah, I'm saying,
No,
yeah.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
kidding. I'm for anything, I would just like to get it
That's
back
fair.
up.
That's fair. Okay, so a motion to, I guess,
Table to
postpone,
investigate.
table, I mean, because I guess you were proposing putting it there, so
Now, if we table this, who's gonna work on this project? Huh?
I would work on it. I'd work on it, try to get Buster's input, try to get I mean, just try to see if there's a better location.
That's what he had. Buster's already said, he don't want it.
But if we have to identify a location, then he would probably be the one to know a good location. Him or one of the other town workers.
We'll find this spot.
When you put gates
Mr. Landers would like to speak.
Oh, yeah, I apologize.
We got gates.
If you table something, you have to either vote on it at the next meeting or vote to table it again. If you continue something, you can push it off for as long as it's necessary. But if you table something, then you have to vote on it. Or at least bring it up and vote, either vote on the motion or vote to move it. So you
That's
might
okay, the continuance.
Yeah, I think the word table gets used a lot, just out of habit, but it has a meaning if someone wanted to challenge something.
Okay.
I have another question about that, and Rocky, I'll see if you can answer. Like, if there's recyclables here that are taken to Lake City, are they actually recycled, or are they just put in the landfill?
So we have a recycling center at the landfill, and we have one up at where the ambulance, where the fire department is, at the fairgrounds.
Yes.
We have yes, and I questioned that myself, because I didn't know either, and I actually went to the landfill. I looked at the recycling center there, yes, they do pick it up, it is recycled.
Okay, good.
Well, how come they don't have the citizens in the county recycling at the curb?
Because we don't do curbside recycling, because it would add about $1 million a year to our.
So, okay, yeah, for we carry, okay.
We don't collect that much recycling. You know, the people just don't participate in it.
Okay, so a motion to continue, for a continuance for, agenda.
I make the motion to the table, that way we gotta talk about it next month. I make the motion to table, somebody else can make a different motion.
They can be done with it.
That's right.
I second the motion to table it.
There you go.
Okay, all in favor slowly? Aye?
Aye.
Very well. All opposed, hey, I'll say aye, I'll keep it updated 30 days. All opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Citizen comments on, I'll open it up on anything at all. Yes.
It would be nice to have somebody make a presentation on the recycling, because for a while, people didn't know what was down there. And there's also limits on what you can recycle. Like, they don't want certain items in the containers. And most people don't know what they are. It'd be nice, they need to tell us what we can put in rather than what we can't, because it says you can only, some of the stuff you don't even know what they're talking about. Is that feasible to have somebody?
I'll say something on that. During your little meet and greet down there, your wife had made a comment that everybody received a notice that the meeting was going to be down there. Remember? On their door.
Oh, yeah.
Versus
Oh,
just
yes.
on our website with the
Yes.
town of Fort White.
For the water meeting?
Yes, for the water meeting, yes. But you being as the new mayor coming in, maybe you want to have a one-time newsletter go posted on every door that states some of these things and tell something about you. I don't know, but it could.
For the recycling?
Throw that at you.
For the recycling?
Mayor,
Recycling could be a part of that. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, the landfill, they have a nice setup there for recycling. If we could get somewhere down here and do a setup like that, I'm sure it would get used. It's like a wall there with dirt up against it. You back up there to it, you're at the same level as the top of the roll-off there behind the wall. They're marked glass, cardboard.
Right.
You just back up to it, open your trunk, dump your can, and drive off. It's that landfill. Now, the one at the fairgrounds is sort of like the one they had here in Fort White, I guess. It's just roll-off, but you know, if we're gonna do recycling, what I told Mr. Krause, I toured all of them and looked at them, and we went to the landfill with that. If we're gonna actually get into this recycling and do it, and have sites in the county, we need to set them up right. And that's what I was telling Bill earlier, We need to find somewhere in Fort White out here that you can set something up like at the landfill, and it would get used, I can tell you. It would. I mean, I was there probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, and there was probably 10 cars backed up there while I was there, and
were
dumped
they,
recycling at the landfills.
were they bringing it in their own containers?
Yes.
Like I know Gainesville, you have different
Yeah.
colors.
No, they were bringing it in their own containers, dumping it in there. Because they don't do curbside like, you know, we don't do curbside.
That place is also managed, has open and closing hours and gates and everything else, correct?
Cameras.
All these
Mr. Richardson, go
roadsides
ahead.
are managed.
I was just gonna say, if you don't mind me saying so, that to my knowledge, if y'all start recycling back up under any kind of different format, and I'm not discouraging that, but that'll be the third time the town government has done this. Every time it gets ruined by people that won't follow the rules, that go through their household garbage, even though when they first put those there, I have pictures, they were brand new, they were very nice, and they were clearly like what went in there. People don't care, I'm telling you. They're gonna mess it up. People that go pick it up are gonna get disgusted with it and stop it again. The last time, this building was overrun with people that came down here about recycling. I'm telling you, it was out the door, and several of them promised the council they would volunteer, go down there and supervise the hours that they would be open for recycling. They'd help take care of the maintenance. It maybe 1 or 2 times somebody volunteered. That was the end of that. It's just a headache. I'm pro recycling, but the way we've done it, it just don't work.
Cameras and all that, I guess through getting that costs money for the town.
There's no profit in it whatsoever.
There can
As of right now, the property, I believe, is shared between us and the county, right?
Out of a small town like this.
Well, it belongs to the city. The county uses the far end of it. They park equipment down there, and they got lime rock and stuff to fix the roads.
Well, I mean,
Stuff to work on the roads around here.
That gate stays open all the time and always, it has since I've lived here.
Yeah, that main gate,
free
I
range.
mean,
Yeah,
It's just a free for all.
yeah.
I think the difference is
It
the
could be
one that's
flooded.
at the landfill has bodies around. And there are
That's
people,
somebody
Oh, I
that
agree.
manages it.
and it's
They set up
monitored,
nicer too.
and it's monitored
I
so
agree.
that people can't come and dump. But we don't have the wherewithal down here to have a monitored site.
Sounds like money, sounds like money.
Oh, yeah.
It's money no matter what you
What it
do.
sounds like, yeah. Okay.
I got one request for next meeting. Can we get an update on the sewage system and how we're gonna pay to operate this sewage system? And ask Mr. Bailey or one of them to be here at the meeting, please. We never talk about the sewage system coming in.
Yes, and I think that's a good idea, yes. It's a huge project, it's a lot of money. And I
I'm
think people
still-
want to know about it, I want to know about it, I haven't got speed on that yet.
I'm still trying to sell you that little one-time newsletter, and it might include what George has done,
Oh, okay.
with this, not George, what Doug has done with Main Street, and what to come. Because there are a lot of good things coming to Fort White.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, I'm closing off citizen comments here, I need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I second the motion.
I learned it.
All in favor? Aye, aye.